Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Porsche Carrera Cup Championship, sponsored by SimRigs.com. It's the 2026 season, and we return now for the beginning of a four-race leg in the Americas, and we start that, of course, at the beautiful Watkins Glen. It's the 2021 full course layout here today. That means we're going to be going through the toe and the boot. No shortcut to be taken here in the Porsche Carrera Cup cars. Welcome into everyone who's watching in on the stream. Ahead of you tonight, 20 minutes of qualifying happening right now. We'll have the results up shortly. Then, of course, race 1, 25 minutes, followed by a short break, and then race 2, a 45-minute race with a reverse top 10, which caused all sorts of havoc last time out in round 4 to end our oceanic leg at Bathurst, where we had quite the antics up the hill for the first lap of race 2. In the commentary box tonight, my name is George Cook. I'm going to be joined by Isaac Fogarty. Isaac, welcome back into the commentary box, mate. Great to have you here. Watkins Glen is a totally different challenge to Bathurst.
Yeah, good evening, George. Good evening, everybody. It absolutely is. This is pretty much a completely different look from where we were 3 weeks ago over in the States. Now, the other side of the pond, if you're from that part of the world, we head over. It's very steep, very twisty. So in Bathurst, sort of similar in that sense, but it's a whole different challenge. The fast run up through turns 2 and 3 down to the bus stop chicane there, and then through the boot and the heel and all the way through that back end section. There's a lot of elevation change here, but very, very different. It's a bit like a roller coaster, George. Should be a good challenge for our drivers tonight.
Certainly should be. Yeah, that chicane is going to cause all sorts of problems. Luckily for them, though, there is no barrier directly across the runoff. It is 34 degrees out there on track at the moment, of course, 469 meters of elevation. Let's take a little look at the championship standings as they are into round 5. Daniel Harris still on top, 1,560 points for him, and he is now getting closed down a little bit by Sam Muir. This is as a result of that race 2 finish that he had at Bathurst, where he was basically at the back of the grid and really was out of the race, more or less. Luke Newing in 3rd place in the pro standings at the moment on 1,316 points. And then Ethan Johnson, who unfortunately is not racing here today. Neither is Daniel Harris, from what we can tell on our timing sheet, but more on that later. Only a short stone throw away from 3rd place on 1,302. Alan Dawson, Jackson Rihanna back on a charge. Jackson Starrett in 7th. Aiden Lennox Bradley in 8th. 9th to Thomas Wilson. And of course in 10th place in pro it is Jared McLeod. Then over in the AM category, this is where things were hotting up. Brock Cadet is in 3rd place, but he's on a 4-race winning streak. And will that be broken? Daniel Harris's 6-race streak, unfortunately, escaped him, eluded him. Was it 7? We'll double check the numbers on that one. But Rob Hamilton currently leading us in AM class on 951 points. And the gap here is closer than it is in pro category between him and Rodney Galan in 2nd place, 14th overall. And then Brock Cadet in that 3rd position. Daniel Leckel not too far behind as well. It's only a 50-point gap there. Split by Jordan Malcolm, who's in pro category. Jonathan Akers in 18th overall, but 5th in the AM category, and Craig Spiteri there in 20th overall. So this is going to really be a critical part of this season, I think, here, Isaac. Daniel Harris is not on the grid. Ethan Johnson not on the grid. I don't even believe that Luke Ewing is on the grid. We've come out of the Easter break. School holidays are still happening. Might explain a little bit about why we don't have a full grid today, but it's still going to be exciting races. Real chance for Sam Muir and Jackson Rihanna today, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all happening in terms of who's there, who's not, but a great opportunity for Sam Muir to capitalize, Jackson Rihanna to get some points back. Jackson Sterrett is in there as well. I did see his name floating around in that field, so looking forward to seeing what they can do. There's a couple of big names down there in the AM category as well. Rob Hamilton could look pretty strong for a podium tonight. Dylan Roosh as well. Jaden Wilcox and Andrew Green all looking fairly competitive. It's only a small field, but they are pretty close on times, and with qualifying almost end, I think we'll get a good look at exactly how close they are, but there's not a lot of spread across this field, so it's good to see, George, that despite there being a couple less drivers out there tonight, everyone is still super competitive in these cars.
Exactly right. Of course, a big mention to our sponsors, primary sponsor, SimRigs.com. Of course, the turnkey racing simulator specialist with years of industry solutions and experience. Check them out on SimRigs.com. Our replay sponsor, Raceline Motorsport Racewear. If you're looking for custom race suits, head over to raceline-racewear.com.au. And of course, our secondary sponsor, Apex Lab, founded to offer sim racers the opportunity to unleash their true potential. Check them out on Apex-Lab, I believe. Let me just double check. Apex-lab.co. Here are our grid positions as it stands right now. Sam Muir on top for 9.5 SimSport. He'll be alongside Jackson Rihanna, who's qualified only 0.175 away from the top spot. Aiden Lennox-Bradley with one of his best qualifyings of the season so far for EDR Enduro Tech. Ross Buchan will join him on the second row of the grid. Matt Bailey will be alongside Alan Dawson. Then it's going to be Brock Cadet. What a run this man is having. And guess what? He's in the top spot for AM class already and 7th overall. Simon Mezzomo is going to be right next to him. Mick Polly is going to be in 9th place, followed by Jackson Starrett in 10th. Dylan Roosh and Robert Hamilton will be battling for the second spot in AM class. Jaden Wilcox and Andrew Green. Jamie Fleming, Brandon Tucker, Thomas Wilson, Craig Spiteri, and that is your grid today. It's not a big grid, but we're going to go racing, and it's going to be a good one. Let's head out to track now and see where things are at as we get ready for this first race at Watkins Glen. Tell us about this race start, Isaac. It is not an easy one to do. Always some chaos, whether it happens in the first corner or whether it happens into that first chicane. It's a really tricky place to get going in terms of a race.
It certainly is. And look, I'll be honest, track limits are sort of advisory for that first corner. Everyone knows when NASCAR come here, they have that image ingrained in their mind of the cars just absolutely running wide at turn one. And do not expect anything different for these cars. They will absolutely take liberties on those track limits off the start. You don't want to go too wide, but I think iRacing is actually pretty generous around here in terms of those slowdown penalties. So what everyone does off the start will be interesting to see. It's going to be that run up the hill for the first time, though. The jostling of position we see down the back straight as everyone tries to sort out who's going to be ahead by the time we get to the bus stop, because that is not a place you want to go side by side at all. It can end in tears, and that's the last thing we want to see on the first lap of this sprint race. But regardless, this should be a very, very exciting first lap. It should be a very exciting race overall, but this first lap especially, watch for drivers to get their elbows out early, because you do not want to lose spots in the slipstream going up the hill.
That's right. You're going to have to form a battle pack. You're going to have to stay with that pack as much as possible throughout this first lap and establish yourself within that group and start working out how you're going to find your way through the pack, or at the very least hold on to that to gain advantage over your competitors. I'm sure Brock Cadet will be thinking exactly that in amongst the pros. Once again, it is 20 degrees Celsius out there, 24% humidity, not expecting any rain, but 22 on track. So that does mean that we are relatively cool conditions, so the tires should be all good to go. And there we go. The green lights are going to go on in a few moments' time. We are 5 lights away. 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're away for round 5. It's Watkins Glen, and this is the beginning of race 1. Into corner 1, it's going to be important. Sam Muir still ahead. Jackson Rihanna defends down the inside line to Aiden Lennox-Bradley. Looks like everyone has gone through relatively unscathed at the beginning of this race. No antics into that first corner. Nice to see. Summit SimSports currently in P2 and P3, but look at Matt Bailey. He's under a lot of pressure from Ross Buchan.
This is a great start for Ross Buchan. Matt Bailey up 2 spots though off the line. He's under pressure here, and putting the Summit SimSports car. We use too many Esses, guys. Can't keep up, but nevertheless, we seem to be all sorted. Everyone, there's a couple of cars that look side by side coming into the bus stop, but everyone's sorted their own track position now as we head down to the boot and the heel for the first time. This is an iconic part of this circuit. NASCAR doesn't typically go this way, but they do like to go this way in GT racing, and they certainly are today. And they turn right, we'll turn left actually. It's right on our screen as we look the wrong way. Around the outside, Brock Cadet. Actually, that's a Wilcox trying to go around the outside. He's got Steering in front of him. A little bit of side-by-side contact there for the two of them. This is great elbows out stuff at the start. Cadet had a little bit of breathing room, George, from qualifying, but he seems to have lost that down a couple spots off the start, 3 to be exact, and he has not been able to capitalise in these standing starts, and now finds his fellow AM class drivers putting him under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, might have not been the best run through the chicane for Brock Cadet or Lennox-Bradley, because Bradley's down 4 positions as well. Mizomo up 3 positions in this race to 5th place at the moment, and now we are seeing a true AM-class battle. And Brock Cadet, well, we said before he'd probably be quite happy to run up there with the pros, get in the slipstream and absolutely go for it. As we see a little move here now, it's Starrett and Poli going for it. This is going to cause a little bit of a headache for Brock Cadet, who got away from Wilcox in that last corner. Now back down into the first corner. Lovely flowing right-hander. We haven't even talked about the pit lane entry or exit as yet. We may not be seeing that too much. Of course, in race 1, race 2 may bring that in. Oh, little bit of a sideways move there for Poli, which runs Brock Cadet wide, and Wilcox is gone.
That is a huge hit into the wall. Will we have a safety car? There's multiple cars involved. It's still going on. That's Dylan Roosh involved. As well, Jackson Wilcox, Craig Spiteri was a part of that. That's a meatball flag for Dylan Roosh. Everyone's still rolling, so we should avoid a safety car here, but that is a huge hit for multiple drivers going up the hill, and that's so easy to do. Everyone's in the slipstream. There's a little bit of side-by-side contact, a bit of rubbing, and one bounce, one slightly wrong line can catch you off guard. The car will be thrown around a little bit, contact, and therefore car in the wall, and that was Wilcox heavy into the wall. Big damage to that car. Jackson Rehana has capitalised off the start here, though. He is trying to make a bit of gap between himself and Sam Muir. Has not been able to do so just yet, but for now, it will remain as Rehana in the lead, Muir in second, down 1 spot, and then Bailey, Buchan, Mizomo, and Dawson in 6th place. Jackson Steerett as well, up a spot. I have noticed, George, there's a trend for our friend Jackson Steerett here. He doesn't qualify particularly well. He did the same at Bathurst, didn't quite nail qualifying, but his race pace is absolutely electric, and he does carve his way through the field.
Certainly does. He's got the opportunity to do that today. Not too far the gap between him and Poli, but I do wonder exactly what happened before in that incident, because it's such an innocuous place to get an issue. And of course, yeah, Sam Muir, of course, losing the pole position or the P1 spot to Jackson Riano, who's on a charge, and as usual will be driving very aggressively to try and maintain that position as well. He loves to launch himself with early moves, surprise moves, and get himself that advantage, get himself that track position. We've hopefully found a replay of this. This looks post-incident, unfortunately, so we'll go back to live shots and see if we can somehow find what's happened. But Brock Cadet was involved in that. No, we've missed that again. It's going to be a tricky one because it's not actually registered as an incident on our event sheet. That's why it's taken a little while to bring up a replay. So we'll continue trying to figure out exactly what's gone on there. But I do wonder if it was Wilcox and Rooch who's just find themselves side by side up the hill. One's maybe hit the curb. Isaac, it's happened before. We've seen it before.
It absolutely has. It always is very easy to happen. It's the thing about the replay system here is I was having this discussion last night on the ASR broadcast for the V8s on Simple Racing broadcast. They were running around St. Petersburg, and the crashes are so fast around there that the cars don't actually slow down enough for it to register as a crash at a quick enough pace, which means that the replays are super hard to find. We're having the same thing here. It's such a high-speed section of circuit that the cars aren't stopping at a quick enough rate for the game to realise that was actually an incident. It just thinks that it's play on, doesn't really matter that much. It's not important. So it's a fine line, and in that situation, it makes it harder for us to really try and even the stewards to really get a great understanding of what went on to try and fully work that out. But for now, as Brock Cadet is in the pit lane, that's an interesting call. Brock Cadet dives into the lane, and that may be damage related. We'll get an update from race control as soon as we can. It looks like he's actually driving through, so this may be a drive-through penalty, and we'll get to the bottom of that as the race goes on.
Wow, yeah, so if Brock Cadet was involved in some way in that incident that we didn't catch on camera, then it's entirely possible that he's had to do that drive-through. It looks like he's come straight out as well, so all indications say that is a drive-through. You don't typically go for a drive-through unless you've been handed one by the stewards, so whether it's preemptive or whether the stewards have already called that one, we will wait and see. But for Brock Cadet, that might be the end of his 4-race winning streak if he's been involved in that at all. What I do remember seeing about that incident was that Poli was forced slightly wide by Starrett coming up to the top of the Esses. And when that happened, Brock Cadet did need to back out. And I wonder if what's happened is maybe he's had to hit the brakes. And if that's happened, then the closing speed between him and Wilcox, who was in second in AM class at that point, he was right behind him. So maybe that's caused an incident as a result.
Yeah, it very well could have. And look, I've been told by race control there is no further action for that incident with Wilcox and Roosh, so they will not. They were two cars. They both did it on their own, according to race control. So there was no actual help between either of them in that situation, which again is such a strange thing. But on cold tyres, George, it doesn't surprise me all that much that a car lost control at 3 all on their own, because that is a very, very fast corner. It's super easy to do, especially on the cold tyres, and the tyres on these cars typically take a couple of laps to come up to temperature.
Yeah, exactly right. And of course, at the top of the Esses there, you've got this weird section where you're essentially off camber. We're just coming up to that section right now. So just at the top of the hill, you've got this brief moment when you're off camber, and this is Muir now on the tack. Jackson Rihanna's going to be under a lot of pressure now, but he's got the inside line into the chicane. Can he hold that? There's a lot of overspeed for Muir right now. Brave defense from Jackson Rihanna. Muir gets the inside line through the chicane and he'll have a good run through this next section. He's going to go around the outside.
That is a lovely piece of driving from Muir, and great room afforded by Jackson Rihanna. This is still going on between the two of them. Don't count out Bailey. He is right in for the taking here if these two get it even slightly wrong. The Summit SimSports team will try and obviously help each other. They don't want to battle too much, so they will be gunning for Sam Muir, but Matt Bailey will not say no to a free position, even if it is at the cost of his teammate, I'm sure, if he does run wide. For now, it's still going, though. They have not stopped this side-by-side action for about 5 or 6 corners now. It's going to continue on. Matt Bailey now looking up the inside of Sam Muir. This could be a drop to 3rd for Sam Muir after looking like he could have taken the lead. A little bit of a touch-up there. They get wide, and as they run up through the final couple of corners here, now Sam Muir is under threat from Ross Buchan. So it's actually developing to a situation where Sam Muir needs to start looking backwards and not forwards.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you're in that fight between two people, it's often the person that comes off worse is going to lose another position. And very nice placement from Bailey. He's been keeping right up with both of these guys at the top. So Summit SimSports, once again, a double podium position at the moment on grid for them. Buchan nearly found his way through too, which have been very good for him. And Antic Motorsports sporting that one of my favorite liveries, that black car with the very metallic green on it. I absolutely love it, as do all the cars. Simon Mizomo sitting there in 5th at the moment, under pressure from Alan Dawson. These guys going into a bit of a scrap as well, coming into the chicane. They've got to sort that out as soon as possible. I think this is actually a debut race here for Simon Mizomo. Don't recall seeing him before. It's a 62, goes a little bit wide there, Dawson.
I saw that as he came off the chicane. The car was a little bit unsettled, didn't quite have the grip. The car went wide as a result. In the background, we've got a couple of drivers side by side. This is Mizomo and Lennox Bradley. It is all happening here at the Glen. They are certainly, I think the phrase is going bowling at the Glen. That's certainly what they're doing here so far. There is drivers looking for moves left, right and centre, George. Wherever they can take it, wherever they can find an overlap, they are going for it. Now Dawson and Lennox Bradley going side by side in the background as well. This is for 6th position on the road. Dawson wants to get that spot back after running wide on the exit of the bus stop, but he hasn't been able to get that done on this occasion.
This is why I love this track. There's so much strategy that goes into where you position the car and when you're fighting another driver. We saw that, of course, with Rihanna and Muir a few moments ago, where basically if you can hold the outside line through some awkward places, especially that outer loop coming into the chute, well, then you've got the inside line. Then you've got to make sure you get the overtake done, because suddenly it becomes the outside line. We go left and we go right, and we go left and we go right. We really alternate a lot. So the outcome of that is really through turn 9, turn 10, where you need to be single file for that fast left-hander and the fast right-hander back out onto the pit straight. That's a really tricky strategy game that these guys have to do at Watkins Glen. This is why I absolutely love going here and racing myself at this circuit. You've got to make those decisions, and you've got to be clever about when you do it. If you get the car positioned well, you'll find yourself with that overtake, no problem. But if you don't, oh boy, it can get very interesting and very bouncy as well through the chicane. Nearly all 4 wheels nearly off the track there.
Yeah, it certainly can. Just want to highlight as well, in 10th place at the moment, only half a second behind Jackson Stewart. Rob Hamilton is leading this AM class He's been a quiet achiever so far this season. He's featured on the podium 3 times, once in second, twice in third for that AM class, but he's never had a class win to his name. Don't want to jinx him. I'm touching wood as we speak to make sure I don't put the commentator's curse on him, but he's running really tidily out there at the moment. Had a little bit of hard luck at Bathurst. Things didn't quite go his way, but he did manage to fight back for a 3rd place in that second race, so he could be featured on the top step of the podium here this evening, and I'm sure there's a couple people in chat in YouTube that would absolutely love to see the Moto Fields Porsche Carrera Cup car stand on the top step of the podium in this race.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, Moto Fields. Oh, dear, there goes Starrett.
Oh,
he's cooked it on the exit of turn 9, and that is a big hit. Well, that's what happens, isn't it? You put a couple of wheels on the outside of the grass, and you put that foot down. You know, it's what you're inclined to do at that position, and Starrett there completely floors it in the wrong place, and that's going to be an immediate trip back to the pits, and yes, it is. He's got no rear wing, bit of a bad bumper as well, so not ideal for him at all. In the meantime, Mizomo is still going for it. These two, Aiden Lennox-Bradley and him, separated by nothing on track right now. Great to see, but certainly Moto Fields going to be happy, and he's loving the comment, quiet achiever. Absolutely right. And it's a great opportunity for him. Wilcox is at the back of the grid. Cadet at the back of the grid, and Rouge at the back of the grid. So these are our foremost AM class drivers, and they're really having a struggle day at the moment in this first race. And we're 13 minutes through. Through goes Hamilton. No, that's Hamilton now under pressure from Green. No, it is not. That's him and Poley.
Yeah, this is, look, it's just you're trying to work out who's who at the zoo at the moment. And this is Lennox-Bradley in the middle of this battle pack. He's got Dawson right in behind him. So Mizomo is trying to back these guys up. I think Poley wants to get a little bit of to join in with this ever so slightly, maybe find himself a spot or two before this race is over. We are past half race distance now, so we are, let's have a look at the lap counter for you folks. We've done 7, almost 8 laps. This is a replay. Jack Stewart got it on the slide on the exit of the corner, so carried a lot of speed in, and then just not able to catch it with the sideways action he had going in that car. And this is Jaden Wilcox also getting a bit of sideways action going, spins that car, does a pirouette a couple of times, gasses it up and gets it going. There's, who's that in the background? I think that's Dylan Rouge. It is Dylan Rouge that just went by and tried to unlap himself from the 95 car, and they continue on. This battle continues on as well in the mid-pack. Now, I will say, I think the quiet achiever comment for Rob Hamilton, he is the points leader at the moment, but he does fly very much under the radar in terms of his results. No, he's leading the AM class points without an AM class win to his name, and I think if that isn't a quiet achiever, I don't know what is.
Yeah, quiet achiever, but slow and steady wins the race, as they often do say, right. And in this case, maybe it's not the best example at all. Whoa, airborne for both the 305 and the 945. They're taking very different lines through that part of the corner and the chicane. This brings Poley now into the conversation. So it's going to be fascinating whether or not they're going to end up in a 4-way scrap. Currently, really, we're looking mostly at Mizomo. And of course, Lennox-Bradley just ahead of him in the 305. So this is the battle for 5th place that we're seeing right now. Alan Dawson and Poley are the ones in behind currently. We need a new metaphor. It's not slow and steady wins the race. It's just consistent results win championships.
They absolutely do, and there's numerous examples out there in the real world, in real racing, and even in sim racing like this at the inside. Who's that? That is Sam Muir on Matt Bailey. So trying to take away this 1-2 from Summit Sim Sports. There's countless examples out there of drivers who have just been consistent. They haven't won the most races. They haven't really won that many races at all, but they won the championship based on the fact that they turn up every week. They're consistent in their results. They're consistent in their effort. And that's exactly what Rob Hamilton is doing. That's also what Sam Muir is doing. He's got a couple wins to his name this season. Well, no, he hasn't got any wins to his name this season, actually. I apologise. He's got 2 P2s and 4 P3s, but he is second in points and poised to take over from Daniel Harris if this race goes his way this evening. He's not that far behind in terms of points. He's sitting in 3rd at the moment in this race. He started on pole, but these Summit Sim Sports cars have been very, very quick today. And he's doing everything he can to throw it at Matt Bailey.
Absolutely right, and rightly so. These two have had a good series of results. I mean, Bathurst was a great race for Summit Sim Sports. They survived the carnage, and I've just been told the 305, I believe I can fly in the inner loop. Sounds like the lyrics to a song that we know. Anyway, we did make the comment, I think, Isaac and Bathurst, that Sam Muir was right there near the top of the championship. I was looking through the results and going, how has this man got so many points? How is he nearly leading this championship? And it's the consistency. So exactly to your point, you know, second and third places consistently through race 1, race 2, through all the rounds that we've had so far. You know, Muir is probably one of the more consistent drivers out there. You take Jackson Rihanna, a one-on-one competition between Muir and Rihanna would be close. I'd probably say Rihanna beats him on outright pace most of the time, but certainly in terms of consistency, I think Sam Muir takes the win on that one. But you know, interrupting this consistency from Summit Sim Sports is going to be his job today.
Yeah, absolutely it is. He is really just trying to throw off these two and disrupt what, I mean, there's no Dylan Harris this week. Someone's got to capitalize while he's not here. Jackson Rayhana's trying to do that. Matt Bailey's trying to do that. Sam Muir's trying to do that. There's so many drivers that all want to be the driver on the top step of the podium in the absence of the man who has pretty much dominated this season so far. Sam Muir, though, he has shown flashes of, well, not flashes, he's been really speedy across the whole season, but we've seen glimpses. The Bend comes to mind as a race where he really just stuck to the back of Daniel Harris, pretty much the entire time. He did not let him out of his sight, and here he's doing the exact same thing to Matt Bailey. Has a sniff on the run to the bus stop, but nothing doing it. Look how much air they get on that second phase of the bus stop there, George. They are throwing these cars around.
It is terrifying. It's like watching a Ferrari 488 take any kind of small bump on the road. It just puts four wheels in the air and absolutely goes for it. Luckily, these Porsches are slightly more stable. Albeit, you talk about the rear tyres at Bathurst. There was some fun that was going on with that, but they are taking a lot of that chicane to try and maximize the speed through all of those apexes. And clever moves here by Summit Sim Sports. They're clearly on comms together. They're clearly working together. The defensive line was taken not just by Bailey on that main straight, the back straight towards the inner loop. It was also taken by Rihanna, so Rihanna was only offering the slipstream just towards the end, where that slipstream effect is most in effect for Muir, effectively neutralizing his overspeed, which is really clever. So Summit Sim Sports working together cleverly at the moment, right at the top of the grid. We are 19 minutes into this race with 6 minutes to go, so not too long. It's about 4 laps of race distance remaining in race 1. Bear in mind, of course, reverse top 10 grid for the 45-minute race 2 coming up after this. We will come back to this race for the top in a few moments' time, but Alan Dawson right now is in a scrap currently, and no chance there for him through that first corner. Yeah, right now, Rihanna from Bailey, from Muir, your top 3, and then Hamilton from Green, from Spiteri in AM class.
Yeah, Lennox Bradley putting Ross Buchanan under quite a lot of pressure up front as well. That's also a battle that is getting quite spicy. Look at them side by side. So we're going to have 2 battles here for position, and this will be the second of those 2 battles. So this is Matt Bailey defending still, and Dawson and Poley.
Oh, Buchanan.
It's all happening here. Buchanan is off, so Buchanan's lost it at the bus stop off the road. That's a massively sideways. That's Wilcox, I believe, in the background. Actually, it might be Mazzomo. If I look at the numbers on the car, it is Mazzomo, so that was really sideways. And yeah, just spins the car. Not sure if there was assistance there. Looks like it was just all on his own. Again, these curbs, they can really throw off the balance of the car, and it's super easy to rotate once any sort of balance is upset on these Porsche Cup cars.
It certainly is. Yeah, it looked like he just took a little bit too much curb on the entry to the inner loop. Very easy to do. The place where there's a couple of pixels difference in the angle, a couple of degrees in the angle. You get those on the wrong side of the threshold, and yeah, you find yourself with a rear end that wants to go one way and the front end that wants to go another. Unfortunately, I think we need to call it the inner spin or something. We need a good name for it. Let us know in chat what you think it is. ePro Racing saying, reminds me of Sly Stallone jumping the curb in the movie Driven. Oh, that's a pretty good example. So slice, if you take the inner loop successfully, you're all good. Otherwise, you slice alone.
I think that's a pretty good analogy. I actually quite like that one, but that's What they're look, it's so difficult. You've got so long. This is only a shorter race. You're gonna have to do this for 45 minutes later on. If you even just slightly get the positioning wrong of that car, it can really unsettle. And Ross has learned that the hard way. He's now harassing the back of Mizomo. He wants that spot back into 8th place. Rob Hamilton up to 7th throughout all of this, folks. So the M-Class leader is doing wonders with that car. We'll start towards the front of the field, but for now, side by side, Buchan and Mizomo down towards the bus stop, and he pulls it up in front. So that's an overtake. That's 4 positions. Shows the power of the slipstream in these cars, and he gets through that time scot-free, and he's back up into 8th place. Has 5 seconds up the road, which would be a big ask to catch Rob Hamilton. He might be able to do it, but the lap times indicate that Rob Hamilton is still looking very competitive out there. Actually, was lapping faster than Alan Dawson on the previous lap, so he is quick in that 111 car.
Yeah, Salone free, I think is the new phrase, isn't it? Scot-free, Salone free through the in loop. But I tell you what, he did not take that with any less confidence. There was no trepidation at all. He went full send through there trying to defend against Mizomo. He's been doing a great job. Great to see a debutant here in round 5 at Watkins Glen for the Porsche Carrera Cup Championship, sponsored of course by SimRigs.com, Raceline Motorsport Racewear and Apex Lab. We're coming up to the last couple of laps of race 1, reverse top 10. Reminder for everyone, if you don't remember, like I didn't remember in race 1, round 1, I mean, all the way back then. And I tell you what, this is going to be a spicy one. Mr. Green here, Andrew Green, he is going to be potentially on pole position for race 2 with Mizomo and Buchan, who are having an almighty scrap at the moment, right behind them. So we'll have to see what Green is going to be able to do with that pole position. Last time we saw it, I mean, Brock Cadet had been in that pole position at Bathurst, did a really, really good job, eventually started to lose pace versus the other guys, as we see Rihanna have an issue at the inner loop as well. He's Saloned it.
He has. He's gone off, and I saw that. I saw him losing a couple spots, trying to work out what had happened to our race leader, and unfortunately it's come undone. And look at that, all on his own, just too much curb. Just unsettled that car, big hit into the wall. I'm surprised he didn't break the left front suspension with that, but he'll push on. He's now in 4th place, so not a huge loss, but Mick Poley is right there and ready to take that position. Unless Rehana can get his foot down. Here we go, look at the onboard. He tries to correct it with the steering, not quite able to do so, and pretty much straight onto the power though. Gasses it back up, knows he has to get on with the job. We have probably got another lap to go when they cross the line. So Matt Bailey inherits the lead of this race. Sam Muir putting on under immense amounts of pressure. This sets up a grandstand finish for the final lap here in race 1, George.
This is going to be exciting. Right through turn 10 they come. There's the pit lane entry, and turn 11 marking the final corner of the lap at Watkins Glen full course. It's the 2021 iRacing layout, of course, and Matt Bailey is going to be under pressure immediately at the beginning of this lap as Samuel lines up for the outside line, but thinks better of it. He knows that that slipstream is going to be his best weapon, and without Jackson Rihanna there to help the slipstream, he's going to take full advantage of that as we head up the hill through the Esses, and they're side by side.
Certainly are side by side. This is the opportunity. Samuel knows that he doesn't have another one after this. This is a key overtaking opportunity. They're so close to each other. Do they touch a little bit maybe on the run? There is a bit of rub moving across to the racing line for Matt Bailey, but Sam Muir has had the inside line later on the brakes, gets the car pulled up, and will take the lead of this race with only half a lap to go. The key overtaking spots for Matt Bailey now are few and far between, so as long as Sam Muir can keep it tidy from here, he should hold on to this one.
Absolutely fantastic. We got call out as well from ePro Racing. Second round in a row that we'll have a AM class person on pole position for the second race, although that might have just changed because Green has switched positions with Mizomo, so Mizomo's not had a good run wherever they are on track, but refocusing on this, Sam Muir was full send through the inner loop. He had that beautiful slipstream and he used it to maximum advantage down into the heel we go now, and up through turn 9. Sam Muir has got this decent lead. Can Matt Bailey fight back? He's not got a lot of opportunity now. Only 2 corners to go, and he hasn't got an overlap. He hasn't got an overspeed, and these are fast single file corners towards the end of the lap. And from what we can tell here, unless there's a mistake from Sam Muir, that's probably going to be it. Yes, it is, as the clouds unfortunately come over at the worst possible moment, and that's going to be it. Sam Muir wins race 1 here, the 25-minute sprint, and that is it. Matt Bailey will come in second, and what could have been for Jackson Rihanna, Lennox Bradley picks up a third-place finish for EDR Endurotech. Great job by him, and Jackson Rihanna, he'll be gutted with himself. He'll be absolutely furious. That was a potential Summit Sim Sports double podium for him, and unfortunately, and a race win, of course, as well. It's only been his third of the season. And Rob Hamilton, take a bow, comes home and takes the checkered flag in AM class. Green a couple of positions behind him. That's going to put Mizomo right at the top of the field, and I wonder, Isaac, if some shenanigans have gone on in that last lap here.
Sounds like there has been a couple of shenanigans that have been going on, but Sam Muir, congratulations. His debut, his maiden victory here in the Porsche Carrera Cup Series, as well as Rob Hamilton, his debut class victory as well. We've still got a couple cars we're waiting on to cross the line, as that is Brent Tucker across the line now, and Jackson Starrett, who dropped down to 16th in the end after that massive spin. Wilcox and Roosh are the last two cars to cross the line. There goes Jaden Wilcox, and Dylan Roosh not too far away from coming across the line himself, albeit a lap down. But all in all, what an exciting first race, George, and that sets up an absolute firecracker of a race 2, especially with that reverse top 10.
It certainly does. We're excited for that, and hopefully we'll be hearing from P1 in Pro and P1 in AM class in a few moments' time. Let's bring up our race results as they are for this first heat. I'm just getting that all sorted here. So yes, it is of course going to be Sam Muir on top. Nice bag of points for him. As it stands right now with Daniel Harris away, that puts him up into the lead of the overall championship here at the Porsche Carrera Cup Championship. Matt Bailey finishes in P2, a very solid result for him, very close at the end, but just couldn't hold on. Aiden Lennox Bradley in third place with Jackson Rihanna, that last inner loop. He did the slice alone, and that was it. And once you saloned yourself, you're going to lose some positions. And fourth place, a nice recovery for him. Mick Poley in fifth, followed by Alan Dawson in sixth, and then of course seventh place and leading the AM category here in race 1. He'll start near the top of the grid in fourth. Rob Hamilton in the 111 car, 151 points going to him. Ross Buchanan eighth, followed by Andrew Green second in AM class, and then P10 will be Simon Mizomo. And that, of course, is going to be a reverse order for the start of this race. Simon Mizomo will be on pole. Isaac, do we have someone in the commentary box for us to talk to? We
absolutely do. We have two people to chat to. We'll start with, first of all, we'll drag him in. The man that finished 7th overall and his maiden class victory here at Watkins Glen, Rob Hamilton. Welcome to the booth, mate. First time we've had the pleasure of your company. Congratulations. What a drive. That has to feel pretty good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was awesome. Nice, and it was kind of chilled for me. It was like a nice, relaxing Sunday drive for quite a lot of it. But yeah, it was. It's a pretty tricky track to keep your tires maintained on.
Yeah, we saw a couple drivers coming unstuck, especially throughout the bus stop and you know, some of these faster corners in the early laps. Is talks to us about how these tires are playing as the race goes on. Is it sort of taking a little while to come up to temperature, and it seems they're probably falling away a little bit quicker as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank goodness it's not like how it was in practice, where this track was like 36 degrees. We had a bit of a cooler track this time around, so we got to have a bit more grip, thank goodness. But during the mid-race, I really relaxed. I chilled out on it because I knew that the tires would get cooked pretty easily. And like you said, some of the guys that are pushing it around, you know, lap after lap, they're going to feel it towards their end, which I think is what happened. But I just sort of, you know, maintained my cool. I wasn't pushing very hard at all. I was just, you know, letting everyone else gain me the positions.
Just driving through everyone else's incidents. Well, it's yeah, awesome that you now get to start on the second row of the grid for this second race coming up. Talk to us. How are you feeling about this second race? What's your approach as we head into this 45-minute race?
Yeah, no pressure, huh? I was just talking to Sam. Yeah, look, I'm just gonna do my own thing. I forget who it was I was doing Mount Panorama. Same situation where like, just got to keep my head down, be predictable. I'm not going to fight the guys too much. It's a long race. There's a lot of fuel on board, and the tires can go real fast. So no crazy pressure. I'm just going to enjoy my drive and just let whatever happens around me happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good luck for the second race coming up, and hopefully we'll have the pleasure of chatting to you later on this evening, if not throughout the season.
Thank you so much.
There we go, Rob Hamilton there, first in the AM class, and we'll quickly grab in as well. He's on his maiden victories, also 2 maiden victories in this race. Sam Muir joins us in the commentary box. Sam, congratulations on that victory. It's been a long time coming. You've worked hard for it, and there was a pretty close battle at the end with Matt Bailey, so he made you work for it, but you got it done.
Yeah, they sure did, the Summit boys. Shout out to both of them. That was some cracking racing. Yeah, some of the most fun that I've had in this new Cup car so far. And yeah, unlucky there for Jackson. Not too sure what happened at the bus stop there, but yeah, really relieved that we're able to finally break through for a win. As you said, been pretty consistent, but just haven't been able to grab that win. Helps that Mr. Daniel Harris is having a night off, so it gives an opportunity for someone else to have a win. And yeah, happy that we've been able to crack through.
Yeah, absolutely. Gives someone else a chance to stand at the top step. He's been pretty dominant this season. But yourself as well, talk to us about that first race. Rob Hamilton just said it seemed like the tyres were a little bit difficult to manage throughout that first race. Were you finding that as well? But, you know, locked in a battle, it's sort of hard to manage that tyre wear, or was it not too bad from your perspective?
Yeah, it definitely was a challenge, that's for sure. If you're not paying attention to it, then it's pretty easy to cook the tyres, especially now in this car if you're getting into the ABS a lot, which is very easy to do when you're battling someone. So yeah, definitely a conscious effort to look after the tyres, and now in this one, a 45-minute race, it's going to come down to tyre management, I think.
Yeah, certainly is. Well, I believe the warm-up session has just concluded, so we'll let you go, Sam. Get set and get prepared for race number 2, and hopefully we'll get to chat to you again throughout hopefully this evening, if not throughout the season.
Yeah, let's hope so. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Sam. That is Sam Muir there. And George, I think the general consensus here is that the tyres are not holding on the way that they would want them to out there, which could create some headaches in race 2, especially considering it is a much longer race.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. And as Rob said, thank goodness it wasn't 36 degrees Celsius out there on track, because that was going to cause some serious headaches, and they would have had to have a bit more of a Sunday drive, I suspect, if they wanted to maintain those tyres. Now, I don't think we're in the territory just yet of looking at an extra pit stop, but it might be something that the drivers considered doing. Let's have a little look at the weather as it is right now. It's 23 degrees Celsius out there, partly cloudy, 18% humidity, 25-kilometer-an-hour wind, but 28 degrees Celsius on track. So we are 6 or 7 degrees Celsius already hotter on track than we were in race 1. I think tyres are going to become a bigger issue, not just because we're going for 45 minutes, but also because we've got a reverse top 10 where you're going to need to make those overtakes early. And of course, now with the hotter track as well, that is 3 things that we like to hear here in the commentary box.
They certainly are. And you know what they create? They create safety cars. So we could see some big incidents here. We could maybe see a safety car in this race, which would be very exciting.
Certainly will be. Well, we will see exactly what happens. Here's your top 10 and the starting grid. It's going to be Simon Mezzomo for 9.5 SimSport, of course, on pole position. Andrew Green will line up right behind him, so he'll be leading AM class into that first corner. Ross Buchan right behind them, first car on the second row of the grid, and then he'll be side by side with Rob Hamilton. So that's going to be a nice spicy battle there. One to watch, certainly. Andrew Green and Rob Hamilton, they're going to have a lot of fast cars in the pro class coming up behind them. So it's going to be 2 drivers in the AM class with about 6 or so pros around them and 2 in amongst them. Alan Dawson will be in 5th on the grid. Mick Poley will be 6th for Southern Cross Racing. Jackson Rihanna will line up, of course, in 7th place with Aidan Lennox Bradley right behind him. Then it's going to be Matt Bailey in 9th, and Sam Muir, of course, our race winner. He, of course, is going to be starting in 10th place. The rest of the grid behind there, Jamie Fleming, Thomas Wilson, Brock Cadet starting in 13th place. What can he do in this race? Going to be a very interesting one to watch him. Craig Spiteri right behind him in 14th. So there's going to be an almighty battle in pro down outside of the top 10. Brandon Tucker going to be starting in 15th. Jackson Starrett in 16th. Jaden Wilcox, Dylan Rouge will round out the grid of 18 that we have here today. So what is is the strategy now. I mean, we've seen it a few times. This reverse top 10 causes all sorts of chaos. We know that some of the M-Class drivers just go, you know what, I'll let the guys overtake. No worries, I'll take it easy. But this is a slightly different situation. Andrew Green is potentially on for a very good result here in M-Class. Rob Hamilton, who won M-Class in race 1 and has been dominant in M-Class so far this season, starting in 4th. So what's the decision-making process they're going to have to make here?
Well, that's what they've got to think about. Look, they're not too far away from getting this race started, so I think it's going to become a case of they're just going to have to sort of lock in and take it as it comes, because the lights come on now.
They do indeed. All right, 5 lights away. Here we go, race 2, 45 minutes long, and that's a very short light. Looks like we've got someone's caught out already. Yeah, that is Rob Hamilton has been caught out on the grid, so not a great start for him. Unfortunately, it looks like Simon Mizomo is going to lead us into the first corner. On the outside line, Ross Buchanan, Andrew Green going for it. Andrew Green holds on for now, but they're side by side as we head up the Esses for the first time. Behind them, Bailey has moved up 4 positions. Rihanna up 3 positions. He's in 4th place. So we've got the Summit Sim Sports guys right on the back of the podium runners. Yellow flag out for Mick Foley already. Might have flown off the barriers. We shall see, but leading us into the inner loop for the first time, it is Simon Mizomo, and that is a great race start for him.
It is a great race start for Mizomo. He has absolutely capitalised. Rob Hamilton down 7 spots off the start. That is, he just didn't get quite away off the line like he would have liked. There was maybe a little bit of a stall there. These cars are super difficult to launch, and he's put that on full display. So unfortunately, he's got it all to do in this second race to get those spots back. Andrew Green stays in 3rd though. There is Brock Cadet looking up the inside of his Cup class rival. Around the outside will be Rob Hamilton, and they've got Wilcox right in front of them as well. So Wilcox looking to fight back in this race. He is up 6 spots already off the start. The biggest mover in this race so far, 6 spots on the first lap.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. Sam Muir is in this battle as well. The 182 car, Sam Muir, you can see just leading that battle. Right at the end of the battle, as we see the 566 going for a move. 555, that's Starrett trying to get involved, but this 3-way battle between arguably some of the best M-Class drivers we've got in this competition, in 11th, 12th and 13th, all the while Andrew Green running away with things in race 2 and just needs to keep a cool head on his shoulders as he's chased down by Jackson Rihanna and Matt Bailey, who are only 0.2 of a second side by side now. Once again, the 1-2-4 car, Brock Cadet, coming under a lot of pressure from Jackson Starrett, who's going to send it down the inside at turn 1.
Yes, this is a nice overtaking move up the inside from Jackson Starrett. He, unfortunately, remember, you came undone early on in race number 1 with that massive incident towards the end of the lap, and now has to fight his way back through the field. This is Buchanan and Mizomo going side by side on the run towards the bus stop, and it goes in favour of Buchanan. So Ross Buchanan takes the lead from Simon Mizomo. Green still in 3rd, but he's under pressure from Jackson Rihanna. So this is going to be interesting. Rihanna's on a charge as well, wants to make up for the fact that he made that mistake towards the end of race number 1. Up the inside now into the heel of the boot for the first time, down towards the toe now. And this is a great little battle here for Andrew Green. He doesn't want to maybe fight these guys too hard. He knows that they're not his class. He doesn't want to maybe have too much of a fight with them, but also you get awarded points based on where you finish. The higher he finishes here, the better that will be for his AM-Class championship. So he can get some good points here today, especially considering his nearest rival's down in 10th place. Rob Hamilton's not too far behind. This could be exactly what he needs to get his points up. That's up the inside, a late diving move from Matt Bailey on Andrew Green. So it's all happening here at the top end of this field.
Certainly is, and this is what we expected to see. Andrew Green doesn't want to fight these positions too hard. He's not trying to hold it around the outside line. Next up's going to be Alan Dawson. So Dawson wants to be up in this top 5 pack while the gaps are still relatively close between them. Rihanna rapidly catching up to Mizomo. That's going to be an inside lunge from Jackson Rihanna. You can just smell it a mile away. There it is, and he's done it successfully. Currently leaving his teammate, hey, catch up, mate. If you want that slipstream, get a move on. In the meantime, I'll tell you what, great opening start to this race. Green's got 5 positions still to Wilcox, who's about a second now in front of Hamilton. So Brock Cadet is unfortunately not really in that battle pack any longer, with Starrett now in there. And Mick Foley has had a crash earlier on. We didn't mention this before. Whoa, that is really close. as we see Mizomo take a lot of speed into the inner loop. Jackson Rihanna probably have a little bit of PTSD from race 1, doesn't want to do so, and that's another accident we've just seen, and we've got a yellow flag against Hamilton, and we do have against Jamie Fletcher. We'll get some, yeah, that is shortcut. Oh dear, oh dear. So we've got all sorts of action on track, and we'll get some replays up soon.
Rob Hamilton with the meatball flag, so there is heavy damage to that car. He's back into the pit lane, so I don't know if he requested the tow for that, whether he's just jumped back to lane. Oh, that's a huge hit. I don't know if he was helped there, but that is a massive hit, and that has absolutely broken the front end of that Porsche. That is heartbreaking stuff for the Moto Fields 111 Porsche, and he is, yeah, will not be happy about that at all. I don't know if I can really pronounce that name. There's too many G's if I look at the team name. But his teammate, Andrew Green, still in 6th place, so he's running well. But that is super unfortunate for Rob Hamilton. We had the pleasure of talking to him earlier. Great bloke. And Jackson Rayhana will lead this race. Mick Poley with a bit of damage as well. So this is what happened to Mick Poley. Oh, all four wheels off the ground. That is huge airtime for the 911 car. Oh, I don't know if it's definitely new. I've seen 2 wheels off the ground. I don't think I've seen 4. That was a bunny hop if I've ever seen it. If you, yeah, look at that.
There it is.
All 4 wheels.
Wow.
That's some Gold Coast supercar style action there across the curbs.
Wow, that's impressive. I mean, there have been 3 wheels from most cars so far in this race, but 4 wheels, well, there you go. Mick Poley takes that honours. He's done a Salone of Salones as Buchan now trying to take this attack, take this fight back to Rihanna. He's not gone particularly quickly through the first part of the inner loop, but obviously trying to maintain the exit speeds at the moment to keep up with Rihanna, who's absolutely flying. One toe of that car is off the ground as he comes through the outer loop, and a nice entry angle. Down the chute we go and into the toe. Great part of the track for some good racing. Andrew Green right down there in 8th now, and actually he's going to be in trouble because he's got the other AM-class driver, Wilcox, coming up behind them relatively quickly. In fact, they're right together at the moment, side by side, Wilson and Wilcox. So keep an eye on this battle. It's starting to heat up, and Andrew Green is going to have to get a move on at some point.
Yeah, Andrew Green, he's battling here with Thomas Wilson. And Wilson will go up the inside, but this will turn back to the inside for Green here. So they're going to continue on, but this is all what Wilcox needs, because it's just going to set him up to be able to try and go past the 16 car if he can. They slot back in now with Wilson ahead of Green, and now there is nothing separating the 2 top AM-class drivers. And Jackson Starrett is right in behind as well. He'll want a piece of that. He'll want to follow his Sideways Esports teammate in Thomas Wilson through, so you'll be keeping a very close eye on what these two do, the behaviour of these cars, and very deep under brakes. Look at how much deeper he is than Wilcox in front. Jaden Wilcox looks up to the inside of Green there to think about a move, but not able to make it happen on that occasion. We've got Fleming into the lane, so that will be from the slowdown earlier. Those little yellow flags that appear next to the drivers' names are for slowdowns. When they exceed track limits, the game awards them a penalty. Brock Cadet now in 12th place, 3rd in class.
Whoa!
Right under the rear bar. Oh, there's a car off. That's Mick. That's Green, and there's another car off as well. That's Wilcox. So Wilcox and Starrett with slowdown penalties. Wilcox with a massive slowdown penalty. He's going to lose multiple spots, and now all of a sudden, hello, Brock Cadet will take the lead of the AM class from absolutely nowhere, from that massive incident where I think they've all done well to come out of the other side with no damage and not a massive pile-up.
Yeah, and we're not even getting it registered as an off-track for them, and they got the yellow flag, so they got the slowdown, so they needed to do that. But that was quite something that we saw on track. I think both of them were sort of playing a bit of a game of chicken into the inner loop, and, well, we had someone win and someone didn't. Let's take a little look and see if we can catch that. No, that is not the right replay, unfortunately, but might catch just the edge of these guys coming back on track. There's the 95. So all sorts of antics into the inner loop. It's usually where the action happens here at Watkins Glen, and we're only 9 minutes into this race as well. 45 minutes to go. Guys, you can take it a little bit calmer if you want. We're not complaining here in the commentary box. We absolutely love it. There's 5-way battles going on at the top of the grid as well, separated by only 1.9 or 2.5 seconds or so. Sam Muir, he's last in that train of 6, and he is going the fastest on track right now.
He is absolutely flying out there right now, Samuel. He knows there's work to do. pleased to say that as well. Rob Hamilton is back out there circulating once again. He's not quite a lap down yet, but he's also not far away from this little battle group that's on our screen, led by Jackson Rayana, all the way down to Lennox Bradley, really in 7th place before you get a car that's over a second away from the one in front. Sam Muir, look at these cars across the curbs. They're doing everything they can just to wring the neck out of them, get as much speed as they possibly can, but that comes at the expense of car instability, and we've seen that bite a couple drivers already so far this evening. Muir is sizing up Dawson in front. He wants to move forward. He is, as you said, the fastest car on track, a 45.3 on the previous lap. He is absolutely flying out there, doing everything he can, but it's got to passing the car, catching a car here is one thing. Passing a car is absolutely another. He has got some work to do.
You've got to walk a line at Watkins Glen, and that's the line of aggressive driving. You get opportunities like this one right now on Alan Dawson. He's taken that beautifully. He's let that opportunity come to him as opposed to trying to force it. It's very easy to force these opportunities at Watkins Glen, and that can be successful sometimes, but often it ends up causing a little bit of overdriving out there on circuit. And this is one of those tracks where you're tiptoeing the line of overdriving the car. You really want to be feeling the circuit and feeling that grip, and sort of going through these corners in a nice flowing way, especially true around the inner loop where you're sort of rolling a bit of dice every time you go in there, maximum pace with a short stab on the brakes, a couple of downshifts and a turn in. So, you know, the kind of driving that's required at a circuit like this, you're really on the knife's edge of grip and try to find that pace at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's there's so much to think about around here, and that's the other thing that Moto Fields is saying in the chat as well, that the interview was a funny, disruptive experience that Rob wasn't used to, and that's the thing you've got to think about. You know, drivers have media commitments. They need to be able to, you know, get into that space where they can interact with the audience and then get back into a state like this where they can focus and be absolutely locked in. And that's what some of these drivers, including Sam Muir, are trying to do right now. They've gone from this little bit of a social, relaxed, breathe setting where they're not behind the wheel of the car and it's go, 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 go. And then all of a sudden the lights go out and you're straight back into that mindset again. And it's all a learning experience, especially at a track like here. You can't really afford to lose focus for even just a second, because you can find your car getting unsettled. That was a bit hairy from Matt Bailey. He's got that car very, very loose at the moment. He is trying to find a way past Mizomo, but that car, as he looks to the inside now, very deep under brakes. That's a late move from Matt Bailey. Very decisive though, sends Mizomo out wide across the curb on the exit. And now Mizomo will maintain the inside line. And let's look, they're still going to try and figure this out, but that was a very, very late and decisive move from Matt Bailey. Now he swoops across in front with the better exit and will get that position. And the aggression is starting to show. Sam Muir ranges up to the back of his teammate as well. Whoa, a bit of contact with the wall. What happens here though, George? Do you have a bit of team orders? Muir clearly the fastest car on track at the moment. Does Mizomo let him go, or does he try and get that position back from Bailey?
That's a good question that I'm entirely unqualified to be answering. I'd say just go for it at this stage. Give him a bump draft and absolutely see what you can do. But, I mean, that was it's exactly what I was saying. It's a risky move. He's forced the issue there as Matt Bailey, and it's worked out this time, but it easily could have gone the other way. Let's see what happens here. So, looks like Sam Muir is going to take no slipstream in that one there. The 945, of course, does decide to take it, so Mizomo wants some of it, but oh dear, that run was so dicey through the inner loop. They nearly Saloned it, but they kept it on track, and Matt Bailey, he's got a car about 2 centimeters behind him. What a shot from the curb there we had. Absolutely brilliant, exiting the outer loop into the chute. And I tell you what, at this point, you might need to be thinking, let's send Sam Muir after Matt Bailey so that we don't lose any time at all. That said, Mizomo doing great to hold on at the moment.
He's doing a wonderful job to hold on. It was so dicey there for Matt Bailey. He had that car crank sideways through the inner loop, through the bus stop. It was absolutely not agreeing with him whatsoever. And Mizomo's eyes would have lit up at the fact that, one, here's a car that's a bit slidey, I could capitalise, but two, if he loses that, I've got nowhere to go. You can see the gaps here, just the difference in the lap times between Muir and Mizomo. He is absolutely flying out there, the race one winner, but getting past is proving to be a completely different challenge. And now Dawson and Lennox Bradley are also getting invited to the party, so the last thing Sam Muir wants to do is worry about having to look backwards, and that's exactly what he's going to have to do very, very shortly, because you can see Dawson there within half a second now. Is this going to be a send on his teammate? No, I thought he was sizing up for a move, but not close enough on that occasion.
Yeah, Sam Muir definitely playing the team game at the moment, wants to give his teammate Mizomo the best opportunity to make that attack on Matt Bailey. Might have to be a bit more opportunistic about it, or they're just trying to choose a place that's going to lose them as little time as possible. If you do that send down into turn one, it compromises the overtaken driver so very much. Looks like Muir's going to, he's not going to do it once again, but as you rightly pointed out, this is bringing Dawson and Lennox Bradley into the picture. Wow, Alan Dawson nearly loses it. He'll lose the position to Lennox Bradley, who'll have the inside line now on the outer loop, but he got all sorts of unsettled into that first part of the inner loop. And looks like he might actually be fighting to get that one back. Let's keep an eye on it. Yeah, Dawson has managed to do that, so able to keep the grip around the outside of the outer loop. Very difficult thing to be doing, but that turns, of course, back into the inside line as he head down the chute and into this section. So luckily for Mizomo and Muir, that does take a little bit of pressure off them. And I think, to be honest, Isaac, I think they're doing the right thing. Take it easy, keep it cool, keep it calm, and keep it collected. We've got another 30 minutes in this race. There's no need to get excited too early on.
There is absolutely no need to get too excited at this stage, putting pressure on though. These guys, there's a long way to go in this race. We're not even halfway through yet. We're only 15 minutes into this race. And what is happening here is just absolute warfare. But it's great for Buchanan and Rihanna. They are disappearing up the road. And here we go. This is what he needed, Samuel. This is the drive off the final corner, side by side with his teammate. Can he get this move done? And he has. I think he's let him go there just to say, righto, go and grab him. See if you can get him now. It's just under a second, the gap between himself and Matt Bailey. And now Samuel can put that pace to good use.
Certainly can. And we know that he's got the lap time. He's got the fastest lap to his name still. Just dipping into that 145 territory, or getting to the lower part of the 45s, I should say. Best lap 45.35. Last lap was a 45.9, and the last lap there for Matt Bailey was a 45.6. So Sam Muir needs to be finding this. No further action in the inner loop for the 555, the 16, the 124, and the 595. I think that was on lap 6. So that incident that we saw, where everything sort of became a little bit interesting, let's put it that way. The Sloans, multiple Sloans all in one. Must have been a green screen in there or two as well, but that no further action by the stewards at this point. In the meantime, Rihanna has served some sort of time penalty, and Buchanan is right with him.
Yes, certainly is. There was a slowdown there for Rihanna for exceeding track limits, and now he is really starting to feel the effect of that and just how quickly things can change. And Matt Bailey is also right there with them as well. So the Summit Sim Sports cars starting to close up on the lead of this race. Sam Muir as well, not too far off the back of that group. There is an opportunity here to have the top 8 cars, or top 7 cars, sorry, once again all nose to tail. Look at that group of cars. They have not separated in 17 minutes of racing, George Cook. There is so many leagues out there. There's so many categories where cars will, you get 17 minutes of the race and everyone's spread out. There's 3 or 4 second gaps, but they have not let each other go here.
Not at all. This is a great battle, and of course that goes all the way down. Wilson is slightly outside the group, 3.5 seconds, but he'll have Starrett there to join him. Brock Cadet is getting close to Starrett at the moment, so those two will be embroiled in a battle in a few short moments by the look of it. Just keeping an eye on it, because that was a gap that was rapidly closing. So Brock Cadet potentially on to join us in the commentary box for an interview at the end of race 2, should things continue to go his way. In the meantime, Jackson Rihanna, this is the critical back straight. This is where things happen. Buchanan is going to try the outside. Nope, not able to do it. Whoa. I'll tell you what, I was just thinking it before. Jackson Rihanna, the only way to deal with trauma in sim racing is to add more trauma.
I'm just looking at how these guys are using the curbs. Ross Buchanan, 4 wheels off the ground, not once but twice in that previous run through the inner loop. He is absolutely sending that car with no fear whatsoever, and they can't have any fear. Side by side, Mizomo and Lennox Bradley here on the run down towards the toe. This is a heavy braking zone now for these guys, and up the inside goes Lennox Bradley. That's through turn 7 now. Before 8, they're going to go. Here we go, all the way across the road. Runs him all the way to the inside to go defensive now. Oh, I thought they were going to collide there, the way that Lennox Bradley was trying to get back across to get to the racing line. But through 8, this could go the way of Mizomo into 9, and he's got it done before they even get there.
That was a great bit of defensive driving on the outside line. He really cut off the crossback from the other car and managed to hold off. That's a really, really nice bit of work there from Mizomo. And Lennox Bradley will have a chance to go again, but we refocus again on Rihanna and Buchanan. He got awfully close. Matt Bailey now coming into the equation, and by the way, he's bringing Sam Muir with him. So this battle that was just Jackson Rihanna at the top fought his way through from about 7th or 8th on the grid. Now finds himself in a position where he's got 3 other guys lining up behind him who want a piece of the action. 3 drivers up 6 positions, Rihanna, Bailey and Muir, with Buchanan up 1 position. So all of them have made great progress in this. Matt Bailey going to be trying to make it a 1-2 for Summit Sim Sports. Can he do it on Buchanan? No, he's going to back out through the apex here, and all 4 wheels off yet again. Buchanan runs wide.
Buchanan is wide, and that's the nature of getting those wheels off the ground. The car was very, very unsettled. He has to sort of slow down now as well, so that inherits the 1-2 for Summit Sim Sports. Samuel moves into 3rd place, which is exactly where I think we've seen this film before, George Cook. This is exactly what it looks like at about this point in time in race number 1. And the good news is we don't stop in 5 minutes, we stop in 25 minutes. So we have 25 minutes of this. Jackson Rihanna trying to pull away, but I don't think with the pace that all 3 of these drivers have, that's going to be possible.
Yeah, I think Jackson Rihanna's thinking, I've got 25 more minutes not to Salone it into the inner loop, which is probably something he's not keeping on his mind at the moment. Just got to keep focused on the next corner and the next corner in behind Mizomo. Still holding on from Lennox Bradley, who's within 0.3 of a second now. So as it stands, 21 minutes into this race, we're coming up to half race distance. P123 and Pro, Rihanna from Matt Bailey, who's made an overtake now, of course, on Buchanan, who ran it too wide. Through the inner loop section, not too many corners ago. And then, of course, in 3rd place, Sam Muir up 7 positions in this race. Then down into the AM class, it is Brock Cadet in the lead there, in 10th place overall with Andrew Green. Here's a move. There goes Lennox Bradley, and he's got it done this time. Then Dylan Rouge, of course, in 3rd place in AM. Rob Hamilton, unfortunately, right at the back of the grid. We'll have to do a little bit of PR training. Anytime he needs that, he can just jump into our commentary box anytime, any place, and we'll give him an interview before his next race for a bit of training on that. Lennox Bradley, though, is he going to keep this position? That is the question. Mizomo decides better of the move.
He certainly wants to try and get that, keep that position. Oh, that's loose from Mizomo. And he's lost a spot to Dawson there.
Oh,
Mizomo's off. Mizomo's around. So he got very loose in the second phase of that inner loop, and he's backed it into the wall.
Oh, no. Okay, so he has had a almighty accident. Let's see. Oh, it's the outer part of the exit, and that is a big impact. It's the suspension. The suspension is not okay. That whole right-hand side of the car, sorry, left-hand side of the car, is definitely got some suspension damage, and he is completely stuck out on track. He's going to need... Oh, that is scary. In the position he is, he needs to get himself off track as soon as possible, and hopefully the stewards will allow him to get a tow sooner rather than later. Big meatball flag from Mizomo. What could have been for him? His teammate Sam Muir for 9.5 SimSport. They were on for a really good result today in Mizomo. Small mistakes at Watkins Glen lead to big impacts.
They certainly do. He is rolling, so we should be okay. He's actually back to, he's towed back to the lane, so he's returned to the pits. Jaden Wilcox, sorry, also in the pits. We did miss that. So unfortunately for Jaden Wilcox, who's been in there for some time, he is with damage. Returned to the lane. This is a replay of exactly what happened to Jaden Wilcox. The car just let go on the run into the boot. So caught out high. It's a very strange one. So he's just pulled into the pit lane. I think he's maybe not too happy about the way this race has played out for him.
Doesn't appear to be at all. Wasn't a significant accident, but we know that the conditions out there are not going to be the best that they could be. They're certainly not quite as good as we had in race 1, where the tire temperatures were more or less under control, 22 or 21 degrees Celsius, I think it was, on track for race 1, 28 degrees Celsius. You can see that on your right-hand side, the weather graphic now up. So it is a lot hotter out there, and when you make these moves, and yeah, it can cause the tires to really overheat, and the cars can become really undrivable really quickly. It's like you're driving on 20 or 30 lap old tires if you get the temperature up too much. But conditions other than that looking okay out there, so not too bad. We refocus now on Sam Muir, and he is taking yet another calm, cool and collected approach to tailing Matt Bailey. But how long does he keep this up? He's letting the gap, well, it's sitting at 0.6 at the moment. It hasn't skyrocketed for Jackson Riana, and I wonder if Jackson Riana wants to work with Bailey here and not leave him completely in the dust and completely at the whim of Sam Muir's very quick driving.
Yeah, that's look, it's an interesting one, and it's just trying to work out exactly what is it like. Sam Muir, he doesn't want to sit behind Matt Bailey for the rest of this race. He learnt the hard way that he had to wait right until the end to try and get that overtake done. He does not want to wait that long this time around. It's starting to get dark out there as well. These drivers are going to lose a little bit of vision. They'll be relying on the headlights with this cloud cover. This will also bring a little bit of track temperature drop, which might actually do wonders for these tyres. Remember, we only ran this length of time, 25 minutes in race number 1, so the tyres are starting to get into a bit of unknown territory here, as Wilcox appears to be trying to re-enter the circuit potentially. It doesn't see that Sadie's moving, but it says he's at pit exit on our timing, so we'll have to get to the bottom of that. Craig Spiteri is now into the pit lane as well, so a couple of drivers may be deciding that the way these tyres are wearing, they do need to stop for a new set of boots.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't blame them at all. That is an interesting one from Craig Spiteri. I haven't seen him come up on the incident board, so I don't imagine he's actually had an incident. It does make me wonder if the guys at the top are suffering from this as well. So I guess we'll see. A comment from Mez Sim Racing saying, medic? Yes, and now I'm remembering a quote from a movie, Starship Troopers. For those of you who know, you know. Medic! Nonetheless, Dylan Rouge was momentarily out there, but he's having a few glitches, and Craig Spiteri will drop now to 15th position. It looks like, as he'll be behind Rob Hamilton. Did Rob come in for a pit stop? I don't recall that he did.
He did come.
Yes,
he did have that major. He did have that major crash. Remember that Manny jumped back to the lane with that meatball flag that he had attached to his car. So Rob Hamilton has technically served a pit stop. It was all the way back on lap 3 after that massive incident.
I love the way that Sam Muir teases his opponents into turn 1. He gets right up to their rear wing, just to the point where you would usually dive out and do a bit of a dive bomb, and then he just hits the brakes nice and early, gives himself a bit of space to the car in front, and times it to perfection, getting onto that power. And look at the positioning of his car in the slipstream. He won't go for it here, I tell you right now. No, but this is putting some serious psychological pressure on a Matt Bailey. It's basically saying, mate, you need to drive perfectly, because if I'm in a position to overtake you, if you make one mistake, I will take it, and you will find yourself in 3rd place. Jackson Riana also not having the fastest run through the outer loop and the inner loop that time out. So the gap now down from 0.6 to 0.4. We see momentarily an off track there for Dylan Rouge. And we will take a look at the AM class in a few moments' time. But the 3 drivers leading the race, separated by absolutely nothing on track, all in pro category, and now catching up with some blue flag traffic. We shall see what happens. In the AM class, Cadet still leads. He's got a 7-second lead over Andrew Green, who's 10th overall, 2nd in AM class, and then Dylan Rouge, of course, only 1 second behind. So there is a possibility for Dylan Rouge to make his way up to 2nd in AM class today.
There is a very, very possible chance Dylan Rouge could get himself up into 2nd in AM class, which would be his first time at being 2nd class. This will be his 2nd podium for the AM class. He finished 3rd all the way back in Adelaide in race number 2, so the longer race in Adelaide. He finished on the podium there. So this will be a great way for him to continue that podium run, to get himself another spot on the podium. He'd love to make that the 2nd step, though. The car they are catching is Rob Hamilton. He will probably get out of the way relatively easily once they do catch him and those blue flags do kick in. We're watching at the moment. This is Wilson catching Dawson, so he's starting to put a little bit of pressure on. So it's not just the front of the field where everyone's tried to battle away for real estate. It's also further back in this top 10. I love these onboard shots, especially as we run down towards the inner loop, George. These cars looks fantastic, and the way they take the curves is brilliant. Look at the slipstream difference that he has over Dawson. Thinks about to move up the inside. There's a little bit of overlap. Slight tail lag there from Dawson. This car is loose. Both cars are loose. They're still going for it, though. They haven't lifted. There was absolute full send despite the sideways action from both of them through the inner loop, and now down through the boot, up the inside, heavy on the brake as they run down towards the toe now. This is wonderful driving from the 2 up to 7. Heavy under brakes, looks to the outside now to take this position back. Dawson, could he go for the switchback? It's brilliant car placement from Wilson to make sure he cannot get that car switched back up the inside. We'll go defensive into 8 now. This is lovely car placement. This is a brilliant battle.
Stunning stuff. Wilson will hold on through turn 8, keeps the car ahead. Dawson's got no way to get back onto that inside line. Doesn't have the overlap, and it was a beautiful bit of a fake. I would almost call it a fake, a psychological fake that he did into the inner loop, put Dawson offline, and then had the power to run through the exit of the inner loop, and the outer loop was all his around the outside. Dawson trying to hold on through 10 but can't, and now there's a gap starting to evolve between the two. Absolutely wonderful car control there, and Wilson deserves that position very, very much, and a solid defense from Dawson as well.
Very solid defense from Dawson. He did everything he could to hold on to that position, and now has to look rearward because Jackson Starrett is not too far behind at all. Brock Cadet about 1.5 seconds off this group as well. You can see him there floating in the background. He's got 8 seconds to Green, who's in 10th place, so a fair way back up the road. Lennox Bradley's also putting Ross Buchanan under immense amounts of pressure at the moment. You can see those two at the top of your screen just running through this bus stop, the inner loop as it is. And the lead of the race still, it's still going on down at the front of the field, isn't it? It hasn't really changed. It's just stations as per usual, with those three separated by absolutely nothing.
Yeah, only 14 minutes to go, so I expect the fireworks to be set alight at some point soon in that battle for the top spot. Jackson Rihanna won't want to lose this one. He made that big mistake in the inner loop in race 1, and of course that cost him the race win. He was on for a double podium finish today should he win this race as well, but he's fought his way back up through the field very admirably this time, and Summit Sim Sports want to take advantage of this. A double podium for them again. Looks very, very good on the CV. In the background, Dawson and Wilson still not separated by much on track. A little bit wide there for Buchanan. Lennox Bradley keeps putting the pressure on. These two occasion another royal battle, and this is what I mean, Isaac, by those fireworks. At some point you think, you know what, it's time for me to attack, it's time for me to make some movement, and Lennox Bradley, he's going to be trying it now down into turn 1.
Certainly is. Here we go, side by side action, folks, as they heavy braking into turn 1. They can't run as wide as I initially thought they would be able to here in the NASCAR style line, but Buchanan is not quite done with this yet. He wants to have an answer for the 305 car. He's going to sit in the slipstream now, so this is key. You've seen earlier on board with Wilson just how strong and powerful this slipstream is. The side draft also just as powerful, but the car placement from Lennox Bradley means that he has to think about the way he wants to go here, Buchanan. He's not able to set it up the way he was hoping. Look at the line. He took oh look, that's just, they've lost a lot of ground there. Took way too much curb. 4 wheels off the ground, and as a result, he has lost so much ground to Lennox Bradley. Almost now a second is that gap.
It is indeed, and of course we've got Mizomo in the chat at the moment. Yeah, we're absolutely gutted that you made that small mistake. It's so easy to do. A little bit too much power. The car doesn't want to keep that grip, and yeah, we're absolutely gutted to see you out of this race today. We do hope to see you back, whether it's out there on the track today or in round 6 when we head there. Of course, in a few weeks' time, just seeing an overtake happening. Starrett and Dawson at it again. Here goes the 555 inside line into 8, and that's a decent way to defend, but he'll be open on the outside line as they run up the hill.
Yeah, he certainly will be, and Starrett gets that position from Dawson. That's a lovely move. So this is still going on, and look at in the background as well. Look who's stalking that last spot. It is Brock Cadet. Now, at the moment, they're fairly separated. The colour You can see a lot of red there at the top, and then it gets to the blue. But that could change very soon with the pace that Cadet is showing. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, it still rages on. Reihana maybe not able to pull away, or electing not to help his teammate defend from Samuel with that slipstream that he will give. And the team tactics once again coming into effect. You can see here the lap by lap analysis of the gaps between these guys. It's really just not changing that much, isn't it? It's just ebbing and flowing. It's a little bit further away, then it closes back up again. It's a little bit further, then it closes right back up again. The lap times are doing the exact same thing.
It's the broadcaster's dilemma. It looks close, and then they're actually just quite relaxed at the moment. They're all having this bit of a Sunday drive out there at the moment, not really fussing about the positions, and I think that's the right way to approach this. Sam Muir is going to have to time this perfectly. He's going to need to get in there between Matt and Rihanna. He's going to have to secure that position and hopefully find a way to attack Jackson at the end. And if you maintain the tyres towards that last couple of laps, the last 5 or so minutes of the race, you're going to be in a much, much better spot to attack. And I think that's the focus for Sam Muir at this point. If he overtakes now, well, what's going to happen? The slipstream's going to be in effect. Matt will just overtake him again, and that'll be it. And he'll be back to the stations, and he'll be less on tyres. So this is going to be a key moment for them. In the background, Dylan Rouge has found a way past Andrew Green. We missed that on track, unfortunately. We will get a replay of exactly how the overtake happened, but there you go. Dylan Rouge up to second place. Windows wipers on in celebration, because you need that at a dry circuit. It'll make a lovely sound over the front of the windshield, but second place and 10th overall for Dylan Rouge.
Yeah, great overtake, gets that spot, and that is crucial. Here we go, this is a replay of exactly what happened between these two. Sets him up on the run down the hill into 6th, and that is a very, very nice overtake. Textbook overtake from Dylan Rouge. Gets on the grass, though. Okay, I spoke a little bit too soon, got on the grass, made it a little bit harder for himself, but does still hold that position in the end, albeit a little bit dicey. But it doesn't seem like Green's too done with that just yet, so we'll keep an eye. That may change as we rage on. Look how close Sam Muir is to the back of Bailey into the buzzer. Look how much curb Bailey uses in the bus stop as well. There is nothing left out there for any of these drivers. All three of them maximising the track without trying to exceed track limits. They are pushing these cars to the limit.
This is absolutely brilliant to see. You love it. You love to see it out on track. Timer is ticking down as well, so not too long until we find out which of these three is going to win the race. And Andrew Green there, I mean, it didn't look like he fought that position too much. He's actually made a small mistake there as well, so he's put himself about 1.5 seconds now, unfortunately, behind the pack that he was chasing. Brock Cadet still running nicely with Dawson and Starrett, just having a great view of the action of the 3 cars ahead of him. Happy to watch at the moment. Dawson, Starrett and Wilson right ahead of him on track. And he gets a great view of that and doesn't need to worry too much about Dylan Rouge. 13 seconds is the gap between them. So at the moment, Brock Cadet is potentially on for yet another win in the AM class, which he'll be absolutely stoked about. He was stoked about the previous run of form that he was on. Didn't, of course, get first place in AM class in that previous race we had. So his streak is no longer, it was a streak of 4. Oh dear, and Dylan Rouge has cooked it into turn 8 exit.
That is a huge slide, and I saw that as soon as he turned the car in. It looked a little bit unstable, and unfortunately he was not able to catch it. That is a massive front end impact for Dylan Rouge, and he'll have to come into the lane to get that repaired, no doubt, with that bonnet flapping. There goes the bonnet. He's now come off the car. That is, look, that is efficient cooling if I've ever seen it. That's making sure the engine has not had any temperature warnings whatsoever, but he will come into the lane, and that is very, very unfortunate. He was on for such a strong result. He had so much pace out there. That is super disappointing.
It is disappointing to see, and an unforced error as well. Really was in quite a secure position for second place, and that pit lane stop potentially puts him down towards Spiteri and Hamilton. So at the moment, we may see someone from 13th or 14th or 15th on the grid picking up third place in AM class. We'll keep an eye on that battle. Brock Cadet and Andrew Green. Andrew will be a very surprised man. He'll have come around that corner seeing Dylan Rouge in the barrier and going, oh, well, you just overtook me. I didn't really fight it too much previously, but there you go. And there goes Brock Cadet on Dawson. I do wonder if Dawson's had a bit of a problem. He's looking very slow out on track right now.
Yeah, Dawson is, I'm not sure what's going on. Looking at his lap times, he's doing 46.6s, so maybe, look, it could be tyres as well. Green has a meatball flag, so there's something happened to Andrew Green. It's all happening out there at the moment, folks. So something is going on, and he's stationary right now.
Wow.
Is that a motor? Has he popped the motor? Because that car looks in relatively clean condition in every sense. But here we go. Loses it. Hits the back corner.
It doesn't look that bad. Oh, rear suspension is crumpled.
Rear suspension,
Isaac,
yeah, that is rear suspension absolutely gone. So that car is now back in the pit lane. He is towed back to the pits, and there is no risk of a safety car happening. But while that goes on, Sam Muir putting Bailey under lots of pressure into the inner loop, and look at the curb usage from both of them. They are not leaving anything to chance. We have got just over 5 minutes remaining, George. The time has absolutely flown, hasn't it? I don't know where where this last 40 minutes has gone. That's a car off the road, if you don't mind. Just keep your heart rate, just get your heart rate up a little bit. Why not mix things up? That was Rob. Was that Craig? I think that was Craig Spiteri, actually, that was off the road. So Craig Spiteri had a little bit of a moment there and has now gone a lap down. Car looks to be okay though, and yeah, Dylan Roosh is jumping ahead. So Green's actually jumped behind Rob Hamilton with that tow back to the pit lane. So Rob Hamilton gains another spot, which is great for his points run this evening. Dylan Roosh up in 11th, so he hasn't actually lost too much after that moment, and he retains now second in class as a result of a couple other drivers befalling issues. So it's all happening out there. As the fatigue is starting to take hold, the tyre wear as well will be a massive factor in this.
Yeah, that's right. I recall from my days doing endurance racing around Watkins Glen, you got a 2-hour stint or just under, and you're trying to save fuel, you're trying to do all sorts, and then you're getting overtaken. Here's an opportunity, Muir. He's going to find it if he can get that overlap, but does he do the send? He wants to put Matt Bailey offline, but Bailey doesn't want to concede at all, and they nearly come to blows there. Muir positioned the car beautifully to put Matt offline, but this is exactly what we were saying before, the calm, cool, collected nature. It's got to end at some point. The fireworks have got to be set off, and the fuse has certainly hit the gunpowder. Sam Muir is on a charge. He needs to make this position. He's lost time already to Rihanna. I think we're going to see an all-or-nothing move from him at some point very soon. Wow, that line from Matt Bailey. He is holding on by the skin of his teeth.
Well, we saw this in race number 1. These two, it gets to the point where there's no time left. Someone has to do something, and Sam Muir, we know that he is a great operator of these vehicles. They all are, but when it comes down to the wire, he's not afraid to throw the car up there, and Matt Bailey will be aware of that. He got caught out in race number 1. He won't make the same mistake again. He will be more than aware of the fact that there is going to be a send from Sam Muir at some point before this race is over. They've only maybe got 2 more laps once they cross the line. With 3 minutes remaining, I would suggest we will get another 2 laps in this race. And what can he do in these 2 laps? It looks like Jackson Rehana is disappearing up the road, so this could be a win for Jackson Rehana if he stays mistake-free from here. It's not unheard of this evening for a driver to make mistakes all on their own, because we've seen it from multiple drivers throughout this field. I think we've got 18 drivers in the field. I wouldn't be surprised if all 18 have made at least one mistake at some point this evening. Although Bailey and Muir have looked pretty much on rails. These cars they've driven these cars superbly well, haven't they? And with 2 laps to go, there is not a lot of time left for Muir to try and get ahead of Bailey, disrupt that Summit Sim Sports 1-2.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that initial move into turn 1 was a little bit hesitant. I think he really should have gone for it at that point, because Jackson Rihanna, I think he might have backed off a little bit here, or maybe not backed off, but he certainly lost a little bit of time. Gap was at 1 second, and I think if he wants to put the foot down, he can, but wants to help Matt Bailey defend against Sam Muir. Otherwise, that slipstream is going to be absolutely dominant. Again, Sam Muir can't make it around the inner loop. Oh, does go for a little bit of a fly, and that's it. He's cooked it. He's lost the car completely, and that is Sam Muir.
He should be right.
Around. He is all right, but there's Lennox. Is that Lennox Bradley? No, Lennox Bradley is coming through outer loop right now, so that's a back marker. So no worries there for Sam Muir. But there we go. The fireworks were let off. There was no safety warning there at all. And Sam Muir has lost the chance to take another win here. At least he's got one under his belt now, though.
Look, I think he's done an absolutely spectacular job to catch that the way he did. I saw it spinning, and I thought if he can time this well, he can gas the car up, and keep going without losing a spot, and he absolutely did that. But unfortunately, it means that he misses out on the opportunity to have a go with Matt Bailey at the end of this one. So he will not get the same opportunity he was afforded with 1 lap to go. Mick Poley's just toward the pit lane as well. So he's come in and now back out again, drops down to 11th, which promotes Cadet and Dawson up another spot, and Roosh inside the top 10. But for Jackson Rayhana, he's got 1 more lap. He just has to keep it smooth and consistent from here, and he will get what would be, if I check my notes, his 3rd win of the season.
Yeah, that's right. So Jackson Rihanna will be taking it probably relatively easy through inner loop this time. That's where he had the foul up in race 1. Cost himself his initial 3rd win in race 1 as a result of that inner loop here at Watkins Glen. Now he's got the final time he's got to run through it. All eyes, the broadcast cameras, the commentators, the viewers, his teammate, all looking at him. Will he make it through inner loop, or will he Salone it? He is not backed out of that at all. I respect it. You add trauma to trauma. That's how you sim race. You get over it and you keep on going. And Jackson Rihanna now only 6 or 7 corners to the end of the lap, and that'll be a race 2 victory for him and a double podium for Summit Sim Sports 2 times in a row. At Bathurst they got 1, and now they're going to get another here at Watkins Glen. It has been a spectacular drive by both of these guys. Matt Bailey has made some really great defensive maneuvers, some great offensive maneuvers as well to make those overtakes, put his car in a position. And then of course Jackson Rihanna, that start that he had, 4 positions up on the first lap, so he knew that he had to make hay while the sun shined, and he certainly did. He's got many bales out there on the field right now, and all of that added up is going to equal a race win in race 2, what he was robbed himself of in race 1. 2 corners to go here. It's turn 10. Bailey 0.6 of a second behind him. The rest of the field completely even Stevens. No one else in a battle as it stands right now. The mistakes have been made. The grid has been set and the checkered flag is out. Jackson Rihanna wants to go across the line with a photo finish with his teammate. They're going to do it, and Summit Sim Sports get a P1 and P2 at Watkins Glen for round 5 in race 2 here at the Porsche Carrera Cup Championship. A very well-deserved victory. Sam Muir comes home in 3rd position, and then of course it is Brock Cadet who will take the AM class victory today. He's not going to be expecting that one. I think he'll explain exactly that once we get him into the interview box as well. Real shame for Rob Hamilton. Did get 1 race win, of course, to his name in race 1. And that is going to be it. Dylan Roosh will come around the corner in a few moments' time to get himself P10 overall, P2 in AM class. And then it'll be Spiteri who picks up a 3rd place in AM class today. Again, another who was probably not expecting that. Andrew Green and Hamilton both having not a great time at different parts of the race. Unfortunate for them, but it is what it is. And Isaac, that was a wonderful race 2 at Watkins Glen. A real shame that we didn't see those on-track fight battles that we were kind of boiling towards. But either way, it's produced some fantastic racing tonight.
Yeah, and Watkins Glen always delivers. Here comes Dylan Roosh to finish 2nd in class, his best class result. And that is a wonderful drive from him. Fleming also across the line, just outside that top 10. And Mick Poley finishes in 12th place. But what an action-packed evening of racing we had here. That I don't think there was a lap that went by where something was not happening. And that is the nature of this circuit, the nature of Watkins Glen. It always delivers.
It always delivers. That's why we love coming here, and we're so happy that round 5 at Watkins Glen for the SimRigs.com Porsche Carrera Cup Championship has shown us the skills of the drivers out there on track. Photo finish for Jackson Rihanna and Matt Bailey, albeit slightly staged, but nonetheless a P1, P2 for Summit Sim Sports, and a lot of points to their names as they make their way back into this championship fight in round 5 at the beginning of our American leg of the year. Sam Muir takes a 3rd place in pro category. Aidan Lennox Bradley in 4th. Roth Buchanan and Starrett in that amazing battle all the way through. Finished not too far away from each other on grid, 5th and 6th. And then, of course, Brock Cadet wins AM class today in 7th overall. Great situation for him. I think that's where he qualified in race 1. We'll double check that. But in 8th place, it's Alan Dawson, followed by Thomas Wilson in 9th. Dylan Roosh gets 2nd in AM class today, 10th overall, followed by Jamie Fleming, Mick Poley in P11, P12. Craig Spiteri picks up 3rd place in M class, and that's a nice bag of points to his championship fight in M class today. Rob Hamilton with the unfortunate start. The PR training definitely going to be something on his list for the training over the next 3 weeks. Andrew Green started towards the top of the grid in the reverse top 10 in race 2. Unfortunately finds himself down in 15th and 5th overall in M class. Simon Mizomo out of this race, unfortunately, with that large collision with the left-hand wall on the outside of the inner loop, which we're gutted to see. Jaden Wilcox, similar situation, and Brandon Tucker, unfortunately, was out of the race quite early on. Only 18 cars today, but boy, oh boy, have they delivered. Isaac, we're going to go to you now because it is time for some interviews.
Certainly is. And first things first, we're going to drag in a man that I always enjoy having a chat to. It is our AM class winner, Brock Cadet. Brock, welcome in, mate. Congratulations on winning race number 2. Things didn't quite go your way in race 1, but you fought back well in race 2.
G'day guys, great to be back and having a chat with you. Yeah, look, race 1, I was just battling too hard too early in the race, got on some marbles and ended up in the wall. That was just a me thing, and I'm pretty frustrated with myself over it, but it was a good fight back. But to end up first in race 2 is a great result, but I felt like that one was absolutely a race of survival and attrition. It was pretty gnarly out there for some.
Yeah, it certainly looks pretty gnarly out there. Talk to us about the tyre life in race 2. Concerns were raised after race 1 about how well that tyre would hold on. How did you feel with that 45-minute race? Obviously, an extra 20 minutes on those tyres. Were they pretty? Had they pretty much had it by the end?
Yeah, look, I actually listened to the interviews that the guys did in between the races and heard them talking about the tyre concerns, because I felt much the same out of that first race. Was I really on the left side in particular was feeling a lot of wear. So once we got to the midpoint of that race and it settled down a bit, made a really conscious effort to brake a bit earlier and accelerate a bit later just to keep the pressure off, particularly the left side tyres through right-hand turns, and that seemed to pay off. I was fairly consistent towards the end there, nowhere near as fast as those top guys, but managed to keep it on the black stuff.
Yeah, certainly. Well, you looked fairly in control out there, and talk to us. I believe I've been told on good authority the next round will be in 3 weeks' time at Miami. How are you feeling about that circuit? A street circuit, so completely different again from what we've done here this evening. Are you keen to get around the streets of Miami?
Yeah, look, I haven't done any laps around Miami yet in iRacing, so it'll be fun to sort of sink my teeth into that. Adelaide went well for me to street circuit, so hopefully I can bring the same sort of energy to Miami and get another win or two there. But no, looking forward to it. I love racing at new tracks in iRacing, and I love the variety in this series. It keeps you on your toes, and it gives me motivation to get out there and practice to try and get a good result, so I'm keen for it.
Yeah, well, we look very much forward to seeing what you can do. Obviously, street circuits, as you said, seem to be something that goes very well for you. Before we do let you go, Brock, anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thanks to?
Yeah, look, actually, she won't be watching, but my team name is 124 Racing because that number is really significant to my partner and I. So I just wanted to shout out to her, say I love her. I love the support she gives me to do this stupid sim racing thing week in and week out, as she would call it. But big shout out to her and thank you to her. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, amazing. Big shout out to your partner and to yourself as well. We look forward to hopefully getting to have a chat to you next time out in Miami. But for now, look after yourself and we'll chat to you very soon, mate.
Thanks, gents. Chat then.
That is Brock Cadet there, and the back on the top step of the podium in race number 2 this evening. And now we pull in a man that we had the pleasure of chatting to earlier on this evening after he won race 1, and now he stands in P3 for race number 2, and consistency remains key. Yet another podium for Sam Muir, mate. Congratulations. You were fighting hard for that one. Almost came unstuck there at the bus stop, but you recovered well.
Yeah, very, very lucky to get away with that big mistake there at the bus stop. But yeah, massive shout out to the Summit Sim Racing guys once again. Yeah, it was sort of just deja vu from the first race, just staring at the back of them for 10, 20 laps. But nah, really good fun, clean racing. Love going to battle with those guys. You know, you're always going to get a clean fight. So yeah, at least we're able to walk away with one win tonight. But yeah, well done to Jackson and Maddie for getting the chockies in that one.
It certainly looked like a lot of fun out there between the three of you, especially yourself and Matt. Talk to us about how those runs into the bus stop, you guys were throwing the cars across those curbs. Was there ever like a little bit of trepidation, a bit of nerves about how much curb to use, or was it sort of every time you got there, you just had the eyes on you, throw it across the curbs and hope for the best?
Yep, definitely the latter. Just hoping for the best every lap, just thinking, oh, gee whiz, I hope I actually land this, because yeah, you do get airborne there, and it's a very, very tricky spot and doesn't take a lot to get it wrong, as both myself and Jackson obviously found out across both the races. So, yeah, super tricky to follow. Happy that it's over, to be honest, that we just about survived.
Yeah, well, look, as a result of your brilliant results this evening, I believe you now inherit the championship lead. So talk to us about that. Heading to round 6, I believe we're heading to Miami for the next round. How do you approach the season going forward now that you have this championship lead?
Yeah, would like to obviously inherit it on pace rather than just Dano taking a week off. And yeah, shout out to Dano. Hope his move and everything's going well, and hope he's back on track pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, so far this season, I feel my quali pace has been really strong. It's just, yeah, the race side of things, that's where Jackson and Daniel in particular have just been in a class of their own. They're able just to carve their way through the field a lot quicker than I can. So that's what I've got to be working on in the back half of this season. And as you said, consistency's key. I think I'm going to miss probably Long Beach, I think it is, the round after this one. So I got a 0 myself coming up. So yeah, just got to keep it clean and hopefully, yeah, rack up a couple more wins, which would be nice.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get to see you out on track. We'll see you out on track for the rest of the season. We'll get to have a chat to you many more times throughout the season, Sam, as well. You've had a wonderful run so far. Before we do let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, anyone you'd like to say thanks to out there?
Yeah, well, yeah, this is my first night actually having the opportunity to talk to you guys, so shout out to you guys. I'm really enjoying the broadcast. I haven't done a league with you guys, but yeah, you guys put on one hell of a show, so thanks for bringing our racing to life on a Wednesday night. Thanks to admin, doing a great job with the league. Numbers were down a little bit tonight, so hopefully we get a few more guys back for the next week, and a massive shout out to everyone at 95 Sim Sports. We've been working really hard to find some pace in this car, and it's good to finally, yeah, get some results on the board.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, big thanks to you as well for jumping out there and having a go and putting on a great display for us to sit and talk about. It's been a pleasure to watch you work, and hopefully we'll get to see that next time out as well when we head to Miami. But for now, look after yourself, and we'll chat to you very soon, mate.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate it.
Sam Muir there. We will jump now to our second place finisher and the first of the Summit Sim Sports cars in Matt Bailey. Matt, congratulations. 2 P2s this evening. That's a very, very strong result. You have to be happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. Very happy. I'm pretty disappointed that we didn't pull away a win in the first race, but also happy that I could come away with P2. I think I was going to be P2 either way. If, unfortunately, with Jackson's incident, which sucks, would have loved to sit in behind him and, come home with a 1-2 in the first race and then follow suit in the second. But yeah, look, stoked to come home with a 1-2 in the second race. Cannot complain at all.
Yeah, talk to us about the team strategy in that second race. Obviously, with the 1-2, is there a bit of team chat going on, trying to use each other for the slipstream to help you stay ahead of Sam Muir there?
Yeah, a lot of team chat, especially during that first race, to try and keep ahead of Sam. And then during that second race, it was honestly kind of balls to the walls for a lot of it, to see where you can end up. And Jack's actually got to the front of the field fairly fast compared to myself. I got stuck a few cars back, and then once I had Sam in behind myself, and I was behind Jax, he was helping me out on the straights. Especially the draft is so strong. It was super hard to defend if anyone kind of got a run out of the first corner. And yeah, just staying in behind Jax was the key, I think. And yeah, got super lucky with that.
Yeah, certainly looks like it's paid dividends. Well, the first time we've seen you on the podium this season, and hopefully there's many more to come. Talk to us about how you move into the next round at Miami. Is a circuit that you're super familiar with, or I think a lot of drivers have said they haven't done too many laps around Miami, especially in these cars. How are you feeling heading into that round?
I actually haven't bought it, so I'm gonna have to go and buy it. I was praying for St. Pete. I love that track. But I mean, it looks fun. I've played it on a few F1 games. It's quite enjoyable, but that's got lots of downforce, those cars. This is quite the opposite. So I think we'll just have to see how it goes.
Well, fingers crossed we can see you once up on the podium once again there in Miami. But look, congratulations for tonight. Before we let you go, mate, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
First of all, a shout out to Jax, and especially to Sam. Sam drove 2 great races there. And another one to John Simpson, made our spectacular paints, flash graphics. and then another one to you guys in the broadcast and race control.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure John's very grateful for the 1-2 form finish at the end there as well. He'll get some nice shots of his liveries to put up on social media. But no, congratulations, mate. Congratulations on the 1-2. And hopefully we'll get to chat to you many more times throughout the season.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too, mate. That's Matt Bailey there, second place in the second race of the evening, second place in both races, in fact. And now we bring in his teammate, the other Summit Sim Sports car, Jackson Rayhana. Jackson, congratulations, mate. You fought hard for that one. It didn't quite go your way in race number 1 this evening, but you fought back in race 2 and got that very hard-earned victory.
Yeah, thanks, Isaac. Yeah, it was all credit to Sam Muir there. He applied the blowtorch in that sprint race, and yeah, unfortunately, both of us, me and Maddie, came undone. But you know, we sort of shook ourselves off and said, you know, let's not do that again. Let's just get to the front as quick as we can and try again. And yeah, thankfully we did that, and all worked out for us in the end.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. We've spoken to Maddie about just the amount of team communication that was going on. From your perspective, we're just trying to make sure that Maddie stayed in that slipstream, worked together, and make sure that, you know, you both stay ahead of Sam, because obviously the slipstream looked pretty powerful around here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like within, I think 1.5 seconds, you've definitely got a bit of slipstream there. But yeah, within like that sort of 8/10 mark, yeah, it's incredibly strong, especially when you've got a car behind you, you know, pushing you. And yeah, when you start closing up, it just gets more and more. So yeah, in that second race, definitely had my eyes on my mirrors a little, just making sure it was not under too much threat, but less so than the sprint, because that's what brought me undone in the sprint race, unfortunately. But yeah, look, it was good. Yeah, we communicated well. And yeah, this is a sort of track where it lends itself to racecraft like that, and having to work together in order to make something happen. And yeah, I think we did a good job of that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, talk to us about now. So this is win number 3 for the season for yourself. You're moving forward in the championship. Obviously, a few bigger names missing this evening, so a great opportunity for you to grab some points heading into the next round. How do you start to approach this championship now as the pace is really coming to, and you've sort of come into your own, especially in the last couple of rounds? You've had pace all season, but the results are really starting to go your way, which is great to see. Are you looking more towards that championship charge, or are you still thinking just take it one race at a time and see where things get as we get to the back end of the season?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I come from mainly an open wheel background, so I came into this championship with not much expectation at all. So Phillip Island was definitely a surprise. I think after that, you know, I knew, you know, I got the pace to run up the front here, and then obviously got the win there, and had a bit of a lull for a couple of rounds. But now, yeah, as you mentioned, momentum can be a big thing. So hopefully can use to my advantage, and yeah, really use that, and yeah, garner some more points, and get a little bit closer to Mr. Daniel Harris at the front, and yeah, try and make it a bit spicy for the back end of the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Miami, 3 weeks away. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Just quickly, we've asked everyone else, have you had much experience? Your teammate, Matt Bailey, said he hasn't actually purchased the track yet, so he's got to go and get on that. Have you done many laps in these cars, or just in any cars at Miami?
Yeah, done plenty of laps in an open wheel. I just never in a tin top. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't mind it as a street circuit. Like, I love a street circuit, but it's not up there with my favourite. So yeah, we'll see how we go. I know, I guess it lends itself to a more tin top style of driving, if that makes sense. So yeah, definitely going to have to do a bit more prep for this one. But yeah, keen either way, and hopefully Mr. Daniel Harris is back for the next one, and yeah, it'll be a good, fun, spicy evening.
Yeah, fingers crossed, because we love watching you guys all battle it out on track. Before we let you go, Jackson, anyone you want to give a shout out to, say thanks to?
Yeah, look, huge thanks to the Summit Sim Sports boys as always, and huge thanks to John at Flash Graphics. We're always making our cars look nice, and especially, yeah, really cool on the broadcast. And thanks to you guys as well for putting on the broadcast for everyone to watch.
No, greatly appreciated, mate. And as I said to Matty, I'm pretty sure John will be very grateful for that form finish you guys had at the end, rolling side by side across the line. He'll love that shot for his social media. But no, congratulations to yourself once again. We look forward to chatting to you many more times throughout the season, and we're looking forward to seeing how you get on in Miami, hopefully with Dylan Harris back on track to spice it up for you boys.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Have a good night.
Jackson Ray there, your race to winner. And George, some pretty similar opinions there. All those boys at the top end of the field absolutely loving that battle. Despite the high pressure of it, they all had quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, and so did we here in the commentary box. I mean, this is the definition of, I think, Porsche Cup racing. What we're learning through these rounds so far is that this racing is close. This racing is tight. It's easy to make a mistake and cost yourself a race win, but there's always a way to make it back up. And that's a testament to how Brad, our glorious admin of the Porsche Carrera Cup Championship, has set up the league. It's a fantastic series, and I think there's still ways potentially for people to get involved should they want to, mainly via the teams, of course. But nonetheless, we're super excited, I think, Isaac, for Miami. Yeah, I was hoping for St. Petersburg as well. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I think St. Petersburg would have been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I think we were all hoping for that. But that said, pit lane exit shenanigans may not be the fun thing to be engaging with St. Petersburg until something gets changed there. But nonetheless, I think we're going to have a lot of fun at Miami too. And before we carry on, we're going to bring up our current points championship. Of course, do bear in mind, everyone, that there is a drop round that will be calculated. You're allowed to take a drop round between round 2 and round 15. You're not allowed to do a drop round on the first round or the last round of the season. But this is how it stands right now. And of course, with Daniel Harris taking a round off, it'll no doubt be his drop round because all the other rounds have been pretty spectacular for him. Sam Muir now leads us in the 182 for 9.5 Sim Sports, up one position from second to first on 1,865 points, followed by Jackson Rihanna up 4 spots. That is what a good result will do for you within one of these rounds. Fourth in race 1, first in race 2, and there you go, it's reflected on the championship standings. Alan Dawson up 2 positions to 1,618 points for Riot Sim Racing. Daniel Harris, of course, drops down to 4th position for the moment. Aidan Lennox Bradley in 5th overall, and he's got a championship fight on his hands with Jackson Starrett right behind him, who's also got a championship fight on with Thomas Wilson. Ross Buchanan in P8, then Luke Newing in P9, followed by Ethan Johnson, your top 10 in the overall championship and in pro class. And then, of course, it is our AM class, Rob Hamilton. 1 race win under his belt today at Watkins Glen, an unfortunate 1 result that he's going to want to forget about. Nonetheless, puts himself still ahead and up 2 positions overall in this championship to 11th and still in the lead of AM class. Then it's Brock Cadet on a run of great form. He's only missed out on 1 AM class win in the last 6 races, not rounds, last 3 rounds, but last 6 races. So he's on a bit of a charge at the moment. Jared McLeod behind him in 13th, 14th to Donald Sabanel. Craig Spiteri in 3rd for AM class, and he is only 5 points ahead of Andrew Green, who had a great result in race 1. Not as good, unfortunately, in race 2, but these things happen. We'll see him fly up the field, I'm sure. Dylan Roosh in P17 overall, 5th in AM class, followed by Rodney Galan, Mick Poley, and Jordan Malcolm. The rest of the results, of course, available in the season points spreadsheet. Go to the Discord, head to that season points area, and you will see the full set of results. Isaac, before we go, let's break it down. Your highlights and lowlights as well from Watkins Glen. What a round.
I think the highlight has to be that last lap battle in the first race between Sam Muir and Matt Bailey. It does not get better than that, folks. That was absolutely magic to watch. The low light, I think, was just how many, just the curbs around here. The drivers getting unstuck, coming unstuck. A number of names, including Rob Hamilton in that second race, being victims of just the unpredictable nature of some of these curbs around here. And I think that was certainly disappointing to see, but hopefully there'll be a number of drivers that are looking forward to bouncing back at the next round in Miami, hopefully with a bit more than 18 drivers on track, because I think a couple of them commented that it was a bit sad to see that there was so few drivers, and looking forward to seeing a few back out there next round.
Exactly right, and we're anticipating more to be back in for the Miami round. It's going to be a fresh new track, a fun place to go racing, not quite as much curb riding, so they're going to be bouncing less in the cars, but bouncing to get back into the racing for sure. I completely agree. A massive shout out, of course, to the league admin, Brad, who should be back for round 6 as well. Brad? Get yourself back in the car for round 6, mate. We want to see you out on track, and we'll try and not focus on too many of your crashes. Anyway, hashtag Be Like Brad as we bring that back from round 1 and round 2. Big shout out to the full admin team, the race control, the stewards, everyone who's watched in chat today, and of course all the teams and drivers. Our primary sponsor of the series, SimRigs.com, turnkey racing simulator specialists with years of industry experience. Please go and check them out on SimRigs.com. Our replay sponsor, Raceline Motorsport Racewear. Of course, if you want any custom race suits, approved karting suits, got that big, nice official stamp on them, sim racing gear and accessories, go and check them out. Their full range available on raceline-racewear.com.au. And our secondary sponsor, Apex Lab, founded to offer sim racers the opportunity to unleash their true potential using engineering and coaching from drivers in the top 1% of the world. Please check them out on apex-lab.co. And of course, the broadcast today brought to you by TrackSpotTV. That's been myself, George Cook, in the commentary box alongside Isaac. A massive thanks to everyone watching today. We can't wait for round 6 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Championship. We're heading to Miami, is what we've been told, and we'll see you there in 3 weeks' time. Until then, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.